All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Domi Lopez Piper, and I am an independent dialogue contractor with the Atlantic Institute, which is a nonprofit organization that aims to foster awareness for differing beliefs, traditions, and opinions. The Atlantic Institute believes it is necessary to embrace diversity and build tolerance. Thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to a meaningful session, and we'll be recording the session and sharing it on the Atlantic Institute YouTube channel. So before we get started with our great guest speaker, I'm now going to share a short informational clip on the Atlantic Institute. Thanks for bearing with me for a moment here. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Sorry, I accidentally muted you. Please unmute.
Can you hear?
The Atlantic Institute is a nonprofit organization dedicated.
You have to unmute yourself in order for us to hear the program.
Issues that affect us all. We feel dialogue is the most important element in peaceful coexistence, so we try and maintain several panel discussions, TED Talk events, and book clubs throughout the year. These events touch on social issues, race relations, and cultural understanding, and are a mainstay of our programming. The Atlantic Institute's education events are extremely important to our mission of understanding. We want to promote socially forward critical thinking to students of all ages. To that end, we have developed programs that seek to grow the creative spirit of students and help them think about their communities and the world around them. Our Future Leaders of Dialogue event brings together nominated elite students to learn from each other as well as political and business leaders. Our art and essay contest gives students a theme about important societal issues and allows them to create wonderful works of art and writing while steering their minds towards improving their world. We're always seeking ways to educate youths and adults in order to make a peaceful world for all of us. Our community events are designed to transform neighbors into friends and groups of people into a community. By associating with other nonprofits or by our own initiative, we are always trying to discover new avenues to improve our neighborhoods, places of worship, and community centers. We host cooking demonstrations of food from other cultures, work with various nonprofits to help elevate the work of others, and try to find a way to make the lives of those who are disenfranchised or marginalized better. Building a more peaceful world starts in our backyards, so we are dedicated to improving our communities and associations. The Atlantic Institute is always seeking like-minded volunteers and collaborators. If you would like to learn more, find volunteer opportunities, or just want to chat with our staff, please visit our website at www.atlanticinstitutesc.org or follow us on Facebook. We will never run out of fun, educational, peaceful events. So come, join us to help make this world a better place full of understanding and unity.
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose.
All right, gotta love those ads. Okay, so we're very grateful and excited to welcome our guest speaker, Annie Kaufman, a world-renowned spiritual teacher, energy healer, and transformational coach for 23 years. She has many tools she teaches to assist in transformation. She is masterful, for example, in helping people find their hidden limiting beliefs, blocks and resistance to change. Annie is a master in Akashic record clearing processes, as well as being a psychic medium and so much more. Annie, thank you so much for being here today. And with that, I'll hand things over to you.
Thank you. I am so thrilled to be here. I tell you, you know this. I was getting excited because I looked up some information, did some research, and I was getting really excited about what I learned. So I'm really excited to get into it. So, have you ever asked yourself, why bother? Nothing ever changes. I don't get the results I want. Maybe setting intentions, does it bring up a feeling of not being enough or not being good enough, or maybe some insecurities, or maybe it leaves you with a sense of insignificance, like wondering, does it really matter? Do I really matter if I make these changes? These feelings, if you resonate with them, you're not alone. This talk is designed to help you begin to make transformations and transform those kind of emotional things into hope and empowerment and a meaningful change in your life. So the New Year's is a universal marker. I'm a hand speaker, by the way, if you haven't noticed. So it's a time across the board, across globally, where people are reflecting, they're looking at what their lives have been, they're looking at what they need to let go of, what they want to let go of, and embracing a promise or a faith that it's a fresh start, it's a new beginning. I have to tell you, just a couple days ago, I was thinking to myself, has this year been any better than last year? Has this been a better year than last year? And I was in that process of thinking about that at the beginning of every year. I remember saying to myself, next year is going to be better. Next year is going to be a new start. It's going to be great. So a lot of us do that kind of thing. So regardless of your culture, this is the moment in the calendar that we find profound spiritual significance and symbolic meaning. And across the board, from culture to culture, you're going to find shared themes of renewal and gratitude and transformation. So by exploring various traditions, we can uncover how ancient wisdoms and traditions can inspire us in our modern lives. So today, what I thought we'd start with is exploring the traditions of different cultures. And this is what makes me so excited, because I learned so much in doing some research about this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to tie those practices to universal symbols and modern applications and connecting our past with our present. So I thought we'd start with ancient and indigenous practices. And I'm not familiar. I've practiced trying to remember a lot of these things, but I'm not real familiar with some of these traditions. So just bear with me if I kind of stumble through names and stuff like that. So with ancient and indigenous practices, we're going to start with the Hawaiian traditions. The Makahiki is a celebration where they celebrate Lono, which is the god of peace, agriculture, and abundance. This was a festival in ancient times that spanned across several months, and it emphasized rest, gratitude, and harmony. So work would cease. Conflicts between people were set aside, or between entities were set aside, and there were offerings made to the gods and nature. The central theme was for gratitude of the harvest and community unity. A modern application of this would be taking pause in their lives and expressing gratitude in everything. And everything that they do, everything that occurs, they have gratitude in it. And aligning with natural rhythms and peace and renewal. So then we move on to the indigenous and Native American. So many of the tribes, they do celebrate the New Year's and center it on cosmic and natural cycles. And I have to tell you, today is a full moon. I don't know if everybody was aware of that. We also are in the time of the winter solstice, and full moons, I am extremely sensitive. I feel I have for years and years. I used to be a registered nurse, and it impacted, like I would see it in my work as a nurse. The moon cycles are very, very powerful, and I have seen in time, like sometimes when it's going to be a really powerful one, I'll start feeling it a week ahead of time. And a lot of times the moons will impact us a week ahead to a week afterwards. So this is an awesome time for all of you to be here if you're here today on the full moon. And to be able to, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise at the end. So it'll be a great time to be working on this kind of stuff. So I want to give you an example of one Native American tribe, and that's the Hopis. And they had the soil ceremony, which marked the winter solstice, and they celebrated the return of the sun. They did rituals and a lot of the Native Americans do, and indigenous groups. They have rituals of prayer and song and fire making and purification to invite harmony in. Practices like smudging with sage or cedar is a good way to cleanse negative energy. And some of the energy healing work that I have done, we smudged ourselves before we entered our sacred space to do our healing work. And it really is amazing. It really does make you feel cleansed. You just take sage or cedar and you just, go down the body slowly, get all of it's better with two people to have one smudge and then the other, turn around, have them smudge your back, kind of wipe away some of the negative energy or energy that's ready to leave. So the spiritual lesson here is honor the natural world and purify the spiritual growth, or the spirit for growth. Okay, then I thought we'd look at some transformational themes across cultures. So a lot of people know that there's a Chinese New Year. You hear about that sometime. It's based on the lunar calendar, and it's a festival that focuses on family and unity and ancestral themes, reverence and renewal. And so families clean their houses and they sweep away the bad fortune is their perception of it. And they offer food and prayer to ancestors. They use fireworks to ward off the negative energies. And the color red is very symbolic of luck and prosperity. That's kind of a commonly known theme, I think. Modern connection is decluttering space. And this is a very big spiritual practice of people who are in alignment with spirituality, that if you can't bring in new unless you declutter and get rid of the old. And also visualizing prosperity and positivity is very much what the Chinese do. Then let's move on to the Italian traditions. A lot of this is releasing the old, and I just love this. I didn't know this before, but the Italians will go through their stuff and they'll throw out dishes and throw furniture and things out of their windows. And this is symbolic of letting go of the past. And I just thought that's so cool. So welcoming in abundance, they eat lentils, and lentils are considered to be coin shaped, and it represents wealth and prosperity. And so their reflective practice is to identify what to release and to set intentions for abundance. Then we have the Irish traditions. This is something they call first footing. The first person that enters their home on the new year is considered to bring in prosperity and good luck. And if they're dark-haired, which I have a lot of Irish, I have a lot of red in my hair, but if they're darker haired, they're considered to be even more prosperous and bringing in more prosperous energy. They bang bread on the walls to drive out the bad spirits and then invite blessings. And so their spiritual lesson is to set the tone of the year ahead by creating and a welcoming environment. Okay, the Indian practices. So Diwali, it's a festival and it often marks a financial new year, and it symbolizes triumph of light over darkness. Again, families are cleaning their homes and they decorate with oil lamps and they pray to Lakshmi for prosperity. The celebrations are with sweets and communal joy. not so differently than a lot of the American stuff. Their core message is dispel ignorance and invite wisdom for a bright future. The Japanese, this is one I have trouble with. Ashogatsu. Ashogatsu is a deeply spiritual celebration, and this is so cool. They ring bells 108 times to cleanse the human desires that cause suffering. I just think that's so cool. Their symbolic food is mochi and azoni soup, and it represents longevity and good fortune. So their life lessons are to let go of desires that no longer serve them and embrace simplicity. The African traditions are, a lot of people have heard of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is celebrated by the African descendants, and it overlaps with New Year's. It emphasizes value like unity, self-determination, and purpose. And the families light candles, and they share stories of growth and gratitude. And their modern lesson here is to ground themselves in purpose and community as a foundation for transformation. The Latin American traditions, symbolically, a ritual is to carry around an empty suitcase to invite travel opportunities in the new year. That's one of them. And another one is eating grapes at midnight, one for every month. And this is a promise of good fortune. And it encourages the big dream and alignment of intentions with desires. A lot of times, we have limiting beliefs, and we have things that stop us from believing that we can have our dreams, and we can have that our dreams can't be big. That totally goes against that kind of experience or philosophy, or really, I believe it's blocks that people have. Okay, then I was going to touch a little bit on southeastern US, and I can speak to this because my mother always made black-eyed peas, sauerkraut and pork, and herring with sour cream and onions on New Year's. And I knew that she had always said that it had to do with luck and prosperity, but as I got looking into it, I got the deeper meanings. So the black-eyed peas, this is a southeastern, mostly southern. Black-eyed peas are representative of a coin, just like the lentils would be. And the collard greens are represented because green is representative of money. I know that my mom probably got this tradition from my grandfather because he was from the South. He was from South Carolina. The takeaway was to focus on gratitude and abundance and daily life. So then the sauerkraut and pork, that is a German thing. The sauerkraut has to do with the shreds of cabbage, and like with every shred of cabbage, it brings in more riches. And my understanding is the German, and I am mostly German Irish, but then I have a bunch of other stuff on my mom's side too, even Native American. But my understanding is that the Germans not only wish for this for themselves, they wish it for everyone. And that's what the sauerkraut is about. And the pork is so interesting. If you think about it, have you ever watched a chicken or a turkey, when they forage for food, they scrape backwards. Okay, they scrape the leaves and the dirt and everything looking for bugs or whatever. Pigs forage forward. So that is a movement forward in eating the pork. And then the herring, my mom, when I was talking to my mom about it, she thought it was a Jewish tradition, which it may be, but what I actually found in my research, there are a lot of cultures and traditions that believe that herring actually on New Year's Eve is what I read, is good for bringing prosperity in. So can you see the commonalities here, the themes? I was just so, I don't know, it inspired me a lot. I was so excited to learn these things about these different cultures and traditions that I hadn't known before, or some of them that I knew a little bit, but I didn't know as much about them as I now know. So the recurring themes, just kind of bringing it back home, are cleansing and release practices like smudging, cleaning their homes, clearing spaces for new arrival. Gratitude and abundance, expression through offerings, feasts, and symbolic foods. The connection to nature and the cosmos, honoring cycles like the Hopis do with the solstice ceremonies, and the Diwali do, the Indian Diwali is done with. And all of this aligns us with the universal energies. And then intentionality and unity. And these practices like Kwanzaa and the first footing, they highlight intentional action and community bonding. So adding practices, no matter what your culture is or what you've practiced in your life, adding practices into your personal rituals like journaling, vision boarding, guided meditations, visualizations, all of these are really great things to do, especially when you're working on thinking about the intentions that you want to set for the new year, or resolutions, as most people call them. And if you don't know about these things, pretty much everybody knows what journaling is. Vision boarding is, I do that every year. I just go through magazines and pick out things that I feel called to pick out, whether it's words, pictures. Sometimes if there's specific things that I know I want to create, I will, I'll even just type up words on the computer and print them out, or I'll go to look up pictures or words with pictures online and print those out. And then you arrange them on your, like a big poster board, and you can put them on with rubber cement or something like that. And then keep it somewhere where it's visual for you to catch your eye all the time, so it shows what you're trying to manifest or create in your life. So it can be anything. One year, and I'll tell you, these really are powerful. One year I just did a quick thing on the computer, and one of the things in there I had put was I wanted a home with a lot of parking space, so that people that came to me to do the work had lots of parking space. Well, I ended up, and I mean, there were more to it. I wanted so many bedrooms, so many bathrooms, more detail to it. But after, I don't know, it might have been the next year when I started doing it, I laughed because I realized I got what I was looking for, but it wasn't the exact vision that I had in my head. So I didn't manifest exactly. I ended up moving into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. One of them, my office, is where I did client work. And I had plenty of parking because it was a parking lot, a big, huge parking lot. So when you make intentions, it's very important to know what you're asking for, because quite often we get what we're asking for. And if you don't make things more intentional, you're going to get things by default. So, okay. I want to talk a little bit about why resolutions fail. Lack of clarity and alignment is really a big thing. So resolutions that are vague and without a clear picture or actionable plans, or that don't connect to your own personal values, tend to be a big thing of why resolutions fail. Like if your resolution is, I'm going to lose weight, there's no clear outline here. There's no clear steps of how you're going to do that, how much weight you're going to lose. Or even if you said, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, It's got to be actionable steps. Or maybe I'm going to, excuse me, maybe I'm going to be happier this next year. How do you define that? So there's got to be clarity and alignment of your resolutions. If there's not, you can tend to become overwhelmed and have unrealistic expectations. So your ambitious goal, you may be excited in the beginning, but it can lead to burnout or frustration, and you may just give up on it. And also the why. Why is this important to you? What is the meaningful purpose? What is the thing that motivates you? Because if it's not in alignment with what's going on with you, that motivation can fade out and challenges arise, or self-sabotage can happen. For instance, let's take losing the weight. Why do you want to lose weight? Is it because you don't like your body? You don't like who you are? You don't like how you present? If that is the case, that may not be the motivation that you need to help you make the change. Because even if you lost the weight, you may still have that issue there. Or because you have that issue, you may self-sabotage yourself and not have the motivation to keep going when the time gets tough. Okay. So there's three keys to success that I feel are really important. And one is aligning your resolution with your core values. So you have to kind of look at what's important to me in life. What are my core values? And does my resolution or my intention for what I want to create in my life, isn't it in alignment with my core values? And you want to break the goals into achievable steps. So if it's like, let's use weight, we've been going on that one. You want to have how much you want to weight, you lose, how the parameters for how much you think you can weigh, you can lose maybe per week. You want to decide what changes you know you need to make in your diet to be able to do that. And do I need to add exercise into that so that it helps me? Or am I exercising too much? You know, there's a lot of different ideas about exercise and what is actually helpful and what is not. So you need to kind of look at these things and make your achievable steps. The other thing is to connect your resolutions to a deeper sense of purpose. Again, looking at why is it that you want this? Is there something underlying? Is there something deeper that I really need to address? And is part of my achievement steps in losing weight at doing some inner work that will help me to be successful in losing this weight? Okay, I hope that makes sense. You can ask me questions later if you need any more clarity on that. So this approach of having these things for success will help transform resolutions from a fleeting wish to a sustainable change. And that's what we want resolutions to be. We want it to be sustainable change. That's why we make them. So no matter where in the world we are, New Year's tradition carries an essence of cleaning, gratitude, intentionality. So this invites us to release what is no longer serving us. It's having gratitude for everything that has come into our life that maybe we've taken for granted in the past. And also it helps us to step into the future with clarity and purpose. Okay, so I thought we would do a little exercise here. If you have a journal, a pen, just a piece of paper, and you want to have it handy in case you want to jot things down, you could also do notes on your phone if you wanted to do that. Or you can just be in the energy and the space of it And then later, maybe after the talk is done, do some journaling or writing things down. So we're going to take about 10 minutes or so, and we're going to go a little bit deeper with these ideas of creating meaningful and achievable intentions. So this exercise, I'm going to split into 3 parts. The first 2 parts we'll kind of do together, and I'll kind of give you guidance on what you can do on your own. So first, we're going to look at releasing the old. The second part of it, we're going to look at envisioning the new. And then the third part of it will be developing your intentions or your resolutions. So feel free to journal or to visualize, whichever way you feel comfortable doing it. So I invite you to get comfortable. Get in a position where you're sitting or you're laying comfortably, and close your eyes. Or if you're wanting to write in your journal, you could actually just kind of put your gaze down on your journal and just allow yourself to kind of, you see it, but you just kind of allow yourself to drift a little bit so that you can get more centered. I want you to take a couple slow deep breaths. And when I breathe, bring that breath into your belly. Normal when babies breathe, they breathe into their belly. As we go through life, we end up breathing just into our chest. So allow yourself to bring that breath all the way down into your belly and then release. And every time you release the energy, feel your body relaxing a little bit more. So I want you to begin to think about the emotional or mental burdens that you're ready to release. Maybe think about certain situations that have happened over this last year, or even further back, that's been a pattern that you may see that happens over and over in your life. And think about those situations, feelings, feel the burdens. Allow yourself to feel emotions if they come up. That's really important. Then consider what might be blocking you. What might be blocking you from living your dream life? And these emotions and the mental thought and the mental chatter in your head, think about what it is that could possibly be blocking your life. Be real honest with yourself. The more honest with yourself you are, the better. And in what ways might you self-sabotage yourself? So I'm going to give you just about between a minute and 2 minutes. And I want you to just sit with that. And then you can either write it down, take notes of it, or allow yourself to just kind of process through it. But allow yourself to acknowledge without judgment. There's no judgment. Know that some of this may include fear, doubt, procrastination, unhealthy habits. Okay, just another short minute or half a minute or so. I think we're doing okay on time. Okay, in your visualization, and you can do this live at a later time, imagine placing these burdens into a container. Picture yourself setting them aside or releasing them into a fire. There is a process called the burning bowl ceremony. And some people on New Year's will take strips of paper or a sheet and write everything they're ready to release and then burn it into the burning bowl. We could do it in a fire pit, whatever. Just something that's ritualistic and symbolic of releasing and letting. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm moving on. This is changing my life, kind of thing. Okay. So visualize that for just a couple of seconds. Okay. Now we're going to shift your focus to your ideal dream life. And I encourage you to not limit yourself. Think about what it is you would really like your life to be like. What does it look like for you? Visualize the details, the people, the environment, the experiences. Engage all your senses. What does it feel like in your heart? What does it smell like? What emotions does it bring up for you? What does it sound like? All of those things. You can write those down, or you can just imagine if you're doing visualization and visualize these things. Feel the sensations associated with these visions. What brings you joy? What fulfills you? So let's take a couple minutes for you to do that. Visualizations are really, really powerful. Okay. Oops. I lost my Zoom here. Hold on. I lost my screen. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do then is from this vision, begin to think about achievable steps that'll help guide you towards that reality. Remember, they have to be measurable. They have to be something that will move you in that direction. Okay. These steps will help form the foundation of your New Year's intentions or resolutions, ensuring that they're rooted in authenticity and sustainability. So we have about 2 weeks before the new year. And like I said, it's a full moon, so it's a great time to be working on this. Full moons are more about releasing, and new moons are more about planting the seeds for what you want. And I don't remember what day the new moon is, but it's probably right around the New Year's. It would have to be. Okay, so in conclusion, as we close, I encourage you to continue this journey of reflection and intention setting. So using this exercise, you can spend more time on your own to really go in deep. You could do some journaling about it, around it. You could do some meditation around it. You could do some visualization. Take some time to do visualization for your intentions and for the coming year. And look at releasing the burdens of the past and stepping into that space of light, love, and unlimited possibilities. So if you feel called to deepen this process, I invite you to visit my website. Can you see it here? Oh, I don't know if you can
You
see it
might
or not.
have to unblur your background.
Oh, okay. I have to pull my,
I can add it in the chat as well, spiritualendeavorsllc.com.
yep. And then I have a YouTube site if you want to. I do some spiritual teaching on there, and it's at Shift to New Earth. And then
The only thing that's adding at the chat, it won't show up in the video when somebody watches this like 6 months down the line. So
true.
just letting you
Right.
all know that.
Let me unblur my video and see.
Yep.
Okay, see if you can see it now. Is it backwards or is it good?
It's good. Back up just a little bit and we can get the YouTube. There you
Alright.
go.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right. And then I forgot to put my email on there. So real quick, when we got started, I scribbled my email, spiritualendeavors555@gmail.com. If you wanted to email me with any questions or anything like that. So you can, if you go to my website, you can book sessions, and I do have different times of sessions. I have a 15-minute, I have a 30-minute, 45, whatever. It depends on how deep and what you want to explore. But I really am really good at helping people find their blocks and and help them uncover their hidden limited beliefs, because we all have them. I still have some I'm working on for myself, and I've been doing this a long time. So it will, just a hint. Observe how you talk. You talk to other people, you talk to yourself. That gives you hints on where your beliefs are limiting you. Okay. And together, I'd love to work with people. I would love to help out anybody who's interested. So may this year ahead be one of profound and easy renewal for us all, filling us with unity, purpose, and boundless possibilities for each of us. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annie, for leading us in a meaningful background of cultural practices for New Year's, as well as that wonderful activity. Does anybody have any questions at this time?
Yes. Hello, girls. How are you?
Hi, Beth.
It's me. We're gonna be on next time. When
Can you-
is that?
Can you repeat your question, please, Beth?
When is that?
The next time there'll be an event? Is that the question?
Yes, I do.
Well, I think you can go to the Atlantic Institute Eventbrite page and see a lot of different options for events that are happening soon. Anything to add on that, Paula?
Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
we have several coming up, in January. We have 2 more here in December. Both of them are next Saturday coming up. And it is best just to look at our Eventbrite page and see all that we have going on. We have several things. I don't know when Annie's doing anything next, if that's what you're asking, Beth.
how do we have a new people invitations coming?
We are working on our emailing system. So we will send out an email soon, yes.
Yes, I do.
All
All
right.
right. Who is your new people working?
I'm sorry.
Who is your new person working?
Our new person working? I'm not sure, who you mean.
Valerie?
I don't have a Valerie working with us right
Oh,
now. Nope. Sorry.
that's okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
I know.
Yes?
We're gonna have a Christmas party.
Yes.
Do you know when it's a Christmas party?
Nope, we don't have any ideas on that one. Sorry.
Oh,
All right, I am going to stop the recording. If we don't have any other questions, and I want to thank everybody for coming.
thanks for coming.
Thank you so much,